Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Chrome Tour golf ball from Callaway.
Day 2 in the books at the WM Phoenix Open. A lot of golf to be played after a frost delay that kicked off our Friday morning at TPC Scottsdale, but the sun came out and the scores were low with a very gettable stadium course. Welcome to our set here, perched on the par 3 16th. I'm George Savaricas with Brandel Chambly and Paige McKenzie. Let's put a bow on a day in which we saw the first round wrapped up, and we got midway through the second round, which is where we're going to begin. Nick Taylor, after a tournament record tying 60 in round 1, here's how he followed that up in round 2.
Well, he made everything in round 1, 184 feet of putts. Didn't make anything going out. Finally got his first birdie at the 10th hole in the second round. And he scrambled beautifully, though.
He did. A wayward approach shot into the 14th. Didn't miss a ton of greens, but when he did, he was 4 for 5, getting those up and down.
Yeah, nice save there at the 14th. And at the 17th, he's not the longest of hitters, so hoping to drive it over this bunker and catch the downslope. Little power alley, boom. Gets it, gets the jump forward. Rolls up onto the front of the green, 37 feet away. Cleaning up for birdie. He lost the lead at that point, so that got him back tied. I think he was showing the best, or saving the best for the last, Paige.
He was. Not this shot in particular. A very difficult driving hole. A lot of players bail out to the right because a lot of the trouble down the left side with the water and Churchview bunkers, but the right side's no picnic either. Difficult bunker shot that he was faced with next into this elevated green. So pitch hitter hit it out to here, and then this pitch shot, Brandel.
Oh, this was just great. It really was. All that speed to that back hole location. I mean, you got to really be committed. You got to really be confident. Watch it hop twice and drop anchor. It's beautiful.
Seeing if he could salvage something these last 2 holes. The birdie par finish gets into the house with the 70. He's at 12 under and afterwards spoke with Kira K. Dixon.
Well, Nick Taylor started his day tying the tournament scoring record, and the second round today it kind of came a bit back down to earth. But Nick, what's your overall takeaways from this second day of play?
Yeah, no, it was a good grind. I didn't have my best stuff, especially off the tee. But hung in there, after bogey the first hole with an unplayable to kind of not have a bogey the rest of the day and stay around the lead. It was tough to follow that round because I made so many putts, and they weren't exactly short putts either. So to have, a bit, I wouldn't say struggle on the greens, but they just weren't dropping this afternoon. So it was nice to finish under par.
Yeah, when you compare the 2 rounds, is there a key point or something that stands out to you as it just felt different out there?
It was a long day, obviously. By the back nine, we've probably been here for 12 hours. Yeah, I didn't hit as many fairways. With the lift play in place, having the ball in hand, it's kind of key to be in the fairways. And I drove it better on the back nine, so that's why I kind of held it together there. And the biggest thing, I didn't make as many putts, but it's almost impossible to back that up. So get some rest tonight and come back tomorrow.
Well, speaking of coming back tomorrow, you've probably got a while until you actually tee it up in competition again. So how do you stay mentally and competition ready until then?
After a long day, rest is key, and then I'll chase my son and my daughter around at the house. So it's nice being at a home game this week, being in my own bed. So that'll be nice.
Great. Well, enjoy chasing them around, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dad Duty always calls. Andrew Novak took a different route to get to 12 under par, opened with the 65.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who's in his 3rd year on the PGA Tour, 156th in the FedEx Cup the first year, 105th the second year. So put himself in some good positions in the past. Just had NBA to close the deal, but found in a lot of greens out there through the first 2 rounds, wasn't he, Paige?
He really did, and it's not the strength of his game per se, the strokes gained approach, but he showed a lot of great approach shots and a little bit of good touch as well with some of the short game.
Novak with matching 65s. Each of these guys are at 12 under par. Taylor and Novak into Saturday. McNeely couple back. Doug Gim is at 9 under par. He's got 2 holes left in his second round, and you have to go outside the top 10 currently to find a player who finished round 1 and hasn't even started round 2, and that's Sahith Theegala, who is at 6 under par. Nice plan from Daniel Berger so far at 7 under, 5 back, currently T9. The best at 16. Kick it off with Mr. Hole-in-One himself, Sam Ryder.
Well, I've seen the highlight of him making a hole-in-one so often. Every time I see him there, I think, is he going to do it again?
It felt a little like deja vu,
It
just
did.
not with the complete
It did.
conclusion that we were expecting.
Will Gordon having a go at it. And this morning hole location was far more gettable. You could throw it past the hole and it would spin back. It's in a little bowl there.
It wasn't just the first shots that the crowd got excited for. I mean, there's nothing better than making a birdie on 16. Yeah.
Sammy Valimaki hyping him up.
You can't have fun at the 16th hole. You can't have fun.
You're allergic to fun.
You are.
The last double fist bump walking off. Taylor Moore from off the green. Using all the cup for the 2. Even though it's with the putter, would count as a 0 putt.
You know, some of the roars that these guys made today, the crowd, it sounded like holes-in-one roars. And this is a hole-in-one reaction from the crowd. He just made birdie. I thought they
didn't see very many of them today, though.
They were starved.
Afternoon.
They were starved.
The afternoon was pretty sparse.
I don't think this crowd was hungry or thirsty.
Oh, there was a famine when it came to birdies. Just 5 in round 2 so far.
It was a very well-served crowd from start to finish. You know, this day began for many of them. They were lining up around the wee hours of the morning, around 2 o'clock in the morning to get in here. A lot of them spent the whole day here.
Were they waking up or still going? I guess we'll
I bet you there were a few that were still going, George. They just came straight from the bar to here, you know. Save you on a change of clothes, you know.
We're going to have, a little breather. And then we pick it back up with Golf Central pregame tomorrow, noon Eastern, 10 a.m. local time. So we're going to show you a lot of round 2. And then tournament coverage for day 3 starts at 1 Eastern on Golf Channel, crosses over to NBC. So what to look for when it comes to day 3, we're going to see half of round 2 and then as much as round 3 as possible, Brandel.
Well, I hope what we don't see is what's forecasted for the morning, which is more of what we had yesterday and not what we had today, which is rain and cold temperatures tomorrow. And those guys that didn't get to play today, I mean, they missed out on, 2 rounds almost of perfect.
They had to have been salivated just watching that happen. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to look for, but I know I'm going to look at, and that's the weather app, because it's going to be dictated solely by the weather tomorrow.
Right, and you wonder, given how saturated this golf course was in round number 1, and it couldn't take any more as we listened to the weather reports. Hopefully it would have drained enough to where it can sustain a little bit of rain tomorrow and the guys can still keep going and that there's no lightning because hopefully we'll be in for an exciting Saturday.
Talking to tournament officials, they said it wasn't necessarily the rain, it was more the lightning. That's the concern. So, I mean, knock on wood that we can dodge that and have another full day of golf here to try and get on schedule going into Sunday for the final round.
Cross our fingers, George.
That's about all we can do at this point, because this has been the wildest week of weather I've seen, and this is the 86th edition of the WM Phoenix Open. For Paige McKenzie, Brandel Chambly, I'm George Savaricas. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow in Scottsdale, Arizona.